Hello everyone, I'm Slow Guitar Man, and today I'm going to tell you about my Psychic deck, which I use to play the Pokemon trading card game. First of all, I'm going to start off with a little background info on it. I use all Psychics except for a few colors that I have. It's really based around mostly speed, but still good HPs and high attacks. But I try to use like one of my big hitters and a few more of my basic Pokemon EX. I've got the basic EXs for some muscle pretty quickly, and I've also got a Stage 1 EX which I use, which has good HP and pretty good attacks, so you can get some pretty good speed without having to worry about getting a bunch of different cards. So, also some problems with the deck. First of all, really, I think I've got too many energies, for one, that's for sure. I'll talk about that a little more later. And there's a few trainers I need to switch out to make it a little better. So, first I'm going to talk about some of my heavy-hitting Pokemon, which evolved from Trapinch. We've got 4 of these. They're all from the Dragon Frontier set. I've got 3 of them with the attack Quick Bind, which for 1 psychic energy does 10 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon. It's an alright starter attack, not really that great, but 10 HP, not many Pokemon get much better than that for basics. 40 HP, it's really kind of low for me, but evolves into something amazing, so, it's not bad. I've also got one, you can do Gnaw, which just does 10 damage for 1 colorless energy, and also Dig for a psychic and a colorless energy, you can do 20 damage. Alright for a basic Pokemon. And then I got 2 Vibravas, also from the Dragon Frontier set, and I can do 70 HP, which is pretty average for a Stage 1. Bite for 1 colorless energy does 20 damage. Alright. Sonic Noise 30 for 2 energies, a psychic and a colorless. Really not bad, not great. Again, pretty average. The defending Pokemon is an EX, and then they're confused. Which that can be good, so if you have to go up against an EX, at least you can confuse them. That can definitely help you out a bit. And then I have 2 Flygon EXs from the Dragon Frontier set. These are Psychic types, because I like Psychics. And it's got 150 HP, which is pretty much average for a Stage 2 Pokemon EX. It's got the Pokebody Sand damage, which, if he's your active Pokemon, does 10 damage to each of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon, which can be very nice to have an automatic poison for all of your opponent's benched basic Pokemon between turns. Does Psychic Pulse. For 2 Psychic energies and a colorless energy, you can do 80 damage, which alone is absolutely monstrous. This is a game-breaking card. But he can also do 10 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon who already have damage counters on them. So, if you can use Sand damage, get the damage counters on them, you can also use Psychic Pulse, get even more damage on their bench, do tons of damage to the active, but also tons of damage to their bench, which is very, very nice. My next big hitter is the Stage 1 I was talking about earlier, is Claydol EX, which evolves from Baltoy. I've got 2 different versions of it, one from Holland Phantoms and one from Power Keepers. Power Keepers one is my favorite. I think it's got a cooler picture and a bit better attacks in my opinion. For 1 psychic energy you can do 10 damage, which, again is average, but also on a coin flip you can confuse, which is alright. And then the other one, 10 damage for a colorless energy, or for a psychic energy and a colorless double slap. You can do up to 40, but as little as 0, so that kind of sucks. I like to be sort of guaranteed in the damage I'm going to do. I don't like to do a lot of coin flipping. Claydol EX. I've got 2 of those. They're from Power Keepers. 120 HP, which is pretty good for a Stage 1 EX. I've seen a lot of them with 90 HP and stuff, and that just doesn't really work for me. That's really, really too low for 2 prize cards. Just doesn't cut it. Gyarados EX and Melodic EX have 130 HP, so that's pretty good. Still, Steelix EX and Wailord EX, 150 HP and 200 HP, which is absolutely amazing for a Stage 1. So, as you can see, Claydol is pretty good. He's sort of average, but on a higher end of average. His attacks, for 2 colorless energy, Psychic Boom does 20 damage plus 10 more damage for each energy attached to defending a Pokemon. If you're going up against a Pokemon who needs a lot of energies, like maybe Blastoise EX, something like that, or like Crawdaunt, who needs a lot of energies to be effective, then you can be effective against him as well. For 2 Psychic Energies and a colorless, you can do Shadow Crush, which does 60 damage, which is, you know, pretty average for an attack from an EX, but still I'd say on the upper end of average. And then if you discard a Psychic Energy card attached to Claydol EX, the defending Pokemon has to discard an energy as well, which can also be good against, like I said, cards like Crawdaunt EX who really need a lot of energy to truly be effective. Next, I've got Mew EX from the Holland Phantom set. Just got this in the mail today, actually, and I'm loving it. I really, Mew is one of my favorite Pokemon, and the 90 HP, you know, still, like I said, it's kind of low even for a basic EX, but still, I love Mew, so I've got him in my deck. He's got the Psychic Vision Pokepower. If he's on your bench, you can look at your opponent's hand, which is always great, you know, see what your opponent has coming up. For 2 colorless energies, you can use Super Psybolt, which does 30, or for a Psychic and 2 colorless, you can do 50 damage. And also, if you discard 2 energies attached to Mew EX, you shuffle the highest stage evolution card from your opponent's Pokemon into their deck. So again, let's use Crawdaunt as an example. Crawdaunt EX, 110 HP. This only does 50. You know, doesn't seem that good. But if you discard the 2 energies, you can shuffle Crawdaunt EX into your opponent's deck, leaving a Corphish. Corphish has there's a couple of different versions between 40 HP and 50 HP, so either one of those is going to be knocked out. You can take out Crawdaunt, essentially, in one hit. You're not going to get the 2 prize cards, but still, he'll be out of your way for now. Next up, Mewtwo EX. This is basically a deck built for the modified format, but really, I put Mewtwo EX in there. You know, I'll just change him out if I go to a tournament or anything. He's just in there because I love him. Along with Mew EX, these are 2 of my favorite Pokemon of all time, so they're in my deck. 100 HP for a basic Pokemon EX is pretty good. And then his attacks, for 1 Psychic Energy, you do Energy Absorption. Attach up to 2 energy from your discard pile to Mewtwo EX. It's always good. Get your energies back out of the discard. Psyburn for 2 Psychics and a colorless. Does 60 HP worth of damage, which again is pretty good for a basic Pokemon EX. We've also got some sort of supporter basic Pokemon cards. These are colorless types. We've got Smeargle from Secret Wonder set. 70 HP for a basic Pokemon is pretty decent. I really use him for color pick, which doesn't take any energy, and it allows you to get 3 basic energy cards from your deck. Any type, doesn't matter, which is nice. Trace, you flip a coin. If heads, you can use one of your opponent's benched Pokemon's attacks against them. So if they have something like, let's say, Empoleon. If they've got Empoleon out there, flip a coin. If you get heads, then 70 damage with only 1 energy. So that's really great. But you have to get heads, of course. I don't like flipping coins, but still, if you have to use it, it's nice to know you've got it. Next, also from the Secret Wonder set, I have 2 Lugias, which have 90 HP, which is absolutely incredible for a non-EX basic Pokemon. Silverwing takes 1 colorless energy, does 20 damage, and on a coin flip, if you get heads, you choose an energy attached to the defending Pokemon and return it to their hand. Which, that can be good, like I said, for Crawdaunt EX. Get that energy back to their hand. Can't really make him effective if he doesn't have lots of energy attached to him. And then Psychic Destruction. For 1 Psychic Energy and 2 colorless, you do 120 damage. Unless the opponent has any energy attached to their Pokemon, then it only does 40. But 40 for 3 energies on a basic Pokemon is still, it's pretty average, but you know, it's alright. And if they don't have any energies, it does 120, which is absolutely incredible. So you get them out in the early game or maybe the late game after using some energy removing attacks. It can be quite great. Now,